This week's book, The Kybalion, by three initiates. And the Kybalion is a Hermetic philosophy, and the Hermes were an ancient civilization in Egypt. And the teachings have no surviving record today. It's not written down anywhere. It simply came down from one master to teacher, generation after generation. And what survives today is allegedly written in this book. And even the source of this book is a little bit questionable. The three initiates are the author. And a lot of people think it's a pseudonym used by this guy named William Walker Atkinson, who was an avid publisher and writer back in the early 20th century. Anyways, the Hermetic philosophy of Kybalion composes of 7 principles. I'll go through them. Number 1, the principle of mentalism. The all is mind and the universe is mental. What I got from this is that pretty much the universe exists in the mind. So basically the universe is mind. At least that's what I got from it. Number 2, the principle of correspondence. As above, so below. As below, so above. The Hermes believed that there were 3 planes: the physical plane, the mental plane, and the spiritual plane. And that there was correspondence between the 3 planes, from physical to mental to spiritual, and that they were all in harmony and in accordance of one another. Number 3, the principle of vibration. Nothing rests, everything moves, it vibrates. And this refers to the notion that even like the atoms, right, the electrons, they're moving. And I think today's science kind of backs that up too, where every molecule is a form of energy, right? So that's what it's referring to. Number 4, the principle of polarity. Everything is dual, everything has poles, everything has its pair of opposite. The like and unlike are the same, but different in degree. Extremes meet, all truths are but half-truths, all paradoxes may be reconciled. And the example they gave is that the difference between hot and cold. They're opposite, but in a sense, they're the same. If you look at the thermometer, when it's cold, the thermometer is low, right? And when it's hot, the thermometer goes high. But where does cold stop? And where does hot start? It's in a continuum. So there is no distinct beginning and ending point for hot or cold. It's all relative. And that's what this principle refers to. Number 5, the principle of rhythm. Everything flows out and in. Everything has its tide. All things rise and fall. The pendulum swings, and when the pendulum swings to the right, it's going to swing to the left just as much. Rhythm compensates. Basically, it's talking about the ebb and flow, right? Everything's born, everything grows, then it declines, then it dies. It's talking about the cycle of life, the ebb and flow of, wave. And pretty much everything has its cycles and ups and downs. Kind of like the saying, what goes up must come down. Everything that's born must die. Number 6, the principle of cause and effect. Every cause has its effect. Every effect has its cause. Everything happens according to the law. Chance is but a name for law not recognized. There are many planes of causation, but nothing escapes the law. It's basically saying that there is cause and effect for everything. There is nothing that happens by chance. If we deem something as chance, it's simply a principle or law that we didn't recognize yet. Number 7, the principle of gender. Gender isn't everything. Everything has its masculine and feminine principles. Gender manifests on all planes. Now, I gotta tell you, the book was a little bit esoteric for me. There were some principles that just went right over my head. It's just elaborating on how the universe is mind, and mind is all, and then the all is like sort of like God, and I'm just like, whoa, okay, this is way beyond my pay grade. Maybe some of you have better grasp of some of these principles than me. I'm not sure if I can get more out of it if I read it later on down the road in my life. I think it has some interesting wisdom and knowledge. Perhaps I can get more out of the book if I have better understanding of the philosophy. I would say it's a pretty interesting book. If you have a better grasp of the principles than I do, drop me a line and enlighten me.